Okay, so we are moving on to the next part of our course, and we're looking at another rate that we're going to encounter in day-to-day life, and this is energy rates. So once you guys move out of home or anything, you are going to notice that the appliances you use, so TVs, air conditionings, whatever, they have a certain energy rate associated with them. So it's basically how much power or electrical energy does this use. So all of these are going to be different depending on the appliance. Something may require more energy than another, and these are measured in this particular unit here. So kilowatt hours. So there is a certain kilowatt amount, which is the unit that we measure power in, for every hour. So the more hours we use this, the more kilowatts we are going to use. Now, we're going to jump in straight away with a couple of questions, and this will be quite a short video because we're just practicing this process of calculating the energy used. Now, just a little side note, one conversion we're going to deal with here is that the watt is the basic unit we use, and just like with other units, 1,000 watts are going to equal 1 kilowatt. So this is the main thing. We're just going to jump straight into some questions now. The first one asks us to find the cost of running these appliances if the average peak rate for electricity is $0.21 per kilowatt hour. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to note that they are charging us, like with any rate, 0.21 per 1 kilowatt hour. So this is just for 1 hour used here. Now, here we have the amount of kilowatts used, 3.5, and we have 8 hours here. So first, we need to find this kilowatt hour, which we get by multiplying the kilowatts, the energy used, by the amount of hours here. So that's going to give us, let's do it in another color, 3.5 times 8. Once we multiply these three together, that's going to give me the unit I require. I've got kilowatts separately and hours. To find the kilowatt hours, I'm going to multiply these two. And that gives me 28 kilowatt hours. Let's make some more space here. So now that I've done that, I now have a cost per 1 kilowatt hour, which is $0.21. Now, to find the cost, I'm going to just multiply this, because for every 1 kilowatt hour, I'm paying 0.21. So for 28 kilowatt hours, I can multiply that there. Once I multiply these through, it gives me a cost in dollars of $5.88. So this is what we're doing. We're working with this particular unit here, which we get by multiplying the kilowatts by the hours. And once we do that, we're working with the rate. So we've got an amount of money, a cost that we have per one of those kilowatt hours. So we just multiply the amount of money by that unit that we get. Let's try the same thing for this next question. We're trying to find the cost at the same rate of $0.21 for a 200 watt TV for 20 hours. Now, remembering here, this thing up here is in kilowatt hours. We have something in watts. So the very first thing we do before anything is we want to convert our 200 watts to kilowatts. Now, we remember from up the top that 1 kilowatt is equal to 1,000 watts. So if I want to calculate this, or if I want to, convert this to kilowatts, I want to divide my 200 by 1,000. So I'm going to do my 200 divided by 1,000, because we can even see here, because this number isn't 1,000, we're going to get something smaller than 1. We're going to get something in the decimals. So once we divide this just gives me 0.2 kilowatts. Okay, so now that I found this, I want to find my unit of kilowatt hours. So I need to multiply this value by the 20, by the hours that I'm given. So the kilowatt hours I get from doing 0.2 times 20, that is going to give me 4 kilowatt hours. And then the very last step, I find my cost by multiplying this by the 0.21 established earlier in my question. So we're paying $0.21 for 1 kilowatt. So to find it for 4 kilowatts, we're going to multiply this through. So we can say then my cost equals to my 4 kilowatt hours times 0.21, which gives me 0.84. So we can see here the cost is going to change depending on the amount of energy that the appliance uses. An air conditioner, in this case, uses quite a bit more energy than the TV. And when we work through any of these types of questions, we're going to approach these energy costs in the same way. The first thing we're going to do is we need to find the energy in kilowatt hours by multiplying the power rating, which we convert to kilowatts if it is in watts, by the hours used. And let's call this H. Because we want to find this time in hours, then once we've done that, to find the cost, we find the cost by multiplying the energy by the electricity charge. And we will be given this, what they mean by electricity charge, this is just the rate that we're given in the question. So with this first question, this is $0.21 per kilowatt hours. But this is how we can work with these energy rate calculations, and we're always going to approach them with these two steps. We find the energy first by multiplying the power in kilowatts by the hours used, remembering we need these particular units here. We need kilowatts, we need hours. So we may need to do some conversions in our questions. Then we just find the cost by multiplying that energy we use in kilowatt hours by the particular cost rate.